Hello mates! In today's video I want to show you how to use the present perfect tense, a very common piece of grammar in English. In order to start, let's take a look at some sentences and analyze its structure, right? Look at this sentence and listen to it. I have been to several European countries. I have been to several European countries. Take a look at the verb have and the participle been. This is what we're going to study today. It's a structure, right? Again, Jake has ironed his clothes. Jake has ironed his clothes. Notice that the verb form have changes from the pronoun I to the third singular person. In this case, Jake, he, right? The pronoun I is followed by the verb have, and the pronoun he is followed by the form of the verb have, has, right? We're going to explain it later on. Now let's take a look at this sentence. I have been to several European countries. Notice that the verb have in yellow color is the verb to have, the present tense, whereas the verb been, the participle form of the verb be, is used in the third form of the verb, right? Which we call participle. Jake has ironed his clothes. Likewise, the first one is also used to have, present tense, the verb have, and the participle of the verb iron, which is ironed, right? The difference is that the verb be is irregular verb and the verb iron is regular. That's why it's spelled only with ed. Yeah, its form doesn't change like the verb be. Okay. So you have been introduced to a new verb tense. It's a combination of have or has and the passive participle of the main verb in the sentence. This new tense is the present perfect tense, right? That's the definition of present perfect tense. How to use it? We use the present perfect tense when we want to talk about something that happened in the past, without saying exactly when it happened. Did you understand? We use the present perfect tense when we want to talk about something that happened in the past, without saying exactly when it happened. In other words, it doesn't have a specific time, right? If I say they have been to Disney World, I'm saying that they once visited Disney World in the past, but I'm not saying when, the day, the hour, etc. We also use the present perfect to talk about an event that started in the past and continues, it carries on in the present. If I say, Peter has worked at McDonald's for 2 years, it's the same as saying that 2 years ago Peter started working at McDonald's a specific time, 2 years ago, and has worked so far, the present time. To form the present perfect tense, we use the verb to have in the present and the past participle of the main verb. Bob has called his girlfriend. Look at the form of the verb have, has. It refers to the pronoun he. In this case, we use a name, Bob. Called his girlfriend. The verb call is used in its participle form. And since it's a regular verb, we simply add ed. Bob and Alice have enjoyed New York. Notice that the form of the verb have changes and it's naturally written have because now we have Bob and Alice, two people. So in the third singular person, the pronoun they. They who? Bob and Alice. All right? Look now. At this board, we have the pronouns I and you. When the pronoun is I or you, we have the form have plus participle of be, been. When it comes to he, she, and it, the three pronouns which refer to the third singular person, we use the verb form have, has, plus participle. Remember that the participle form never changes. What alters is the form of the verb have depending on which pronoun we are using. As the pronoun I and pronoun you, likewise the pronoun we, you, and they are also used with the verb form have plus participle. But the question is that many students sometimes wonder, simple present or present perfect? What is the difference and when to use one and when to use another? That's a quite simple and straight answer. Look at these two sentences. I went to the mall last night. Last night is a specific time. So it's basically saying that an action that started in the past and finished in the past. So the action is over. So I use the past form of the verb. Simple form, right? I went, which is the past form of the verb go. However, if I say I have gone to the mall, notice that there is no specific time mentioned in the sentence. So it happened in the past, but I don't know when. Exactly like we learned in the beginning of the video. So what's the difference between them? When the actions happened, let's check it out. In simple past tense, when we ask when it happened, we have an answer. I went to the supermarket last night, last week, 2 days ago, at 3 o'clock, last morning, right? Shall we say last afternoon, yeah? Because 3 o'clock in the morning, I think it's too early to go to the supermarket, right? On the other hand, in present perfect tense, when we ask when it happened, we don't have an answer. I have been to the supermarket, but I don't mention the specific time. That's the difference. Look at the sentence again. Melissa has walked the dog. Melissa has taken a walk with the dog. Well, Melissa walked with the dog sometime in the past, but we don't know when, if it was yesterday, last week, 3 days ago, last night. Right? Look, that's the big difference between present perfect and present simple. John walked the dog yesterday at night. There is even a calendar here, so we can check the day exactly. It was on Thursday, 22nd of... There is no month mentioned, but okay, it was on the 22nd of the month, on Thursday night. So there's day and specific hour, right? Different from present perfect. Alright, now let's check some contractions, right? In English, it's quite common to use contraction, right? When we put two words together and form just one pronunciation. Like does not, we say doesn't. Do not, we say don't. It also happens with present perfect tense. We make a contraction of the pronoun and the verb have. Either have or has. So I have becomes I've. I've. You have becomes you've. You've. He has becomes his. His. She has becomes she's. She's. It has its. Its. They have they've. They've. We have we've. We've. Right? The right side of your screen in lilac color is the contraction. Examples. She's bought her groceries at Walmart. Look that the form of the verb has is contracted with the pronoun she. So we pronounce she's. Pronoun she apostrophe s, which represents the verb have. They've swept the floor. They have swept the floor. Alright, this is the contraction of the pronoun have, the pronoun they, with the verb have. Alright? Negative sentences. How to form the negative sentences? Well, we simply put the word not in front of the main verb have. So, if I say have not, the contraction becomes haven't. If I say has not, the contraction becomes hasn't. Examples. She hasn't walked out. She has not walked out. That's the meaning of the sentence. In contraction, we pronounce hasn't. They haven't done the homework. It means they have not done the homework. Contraction, haven't. Have plus not. John has ordered a hot dog. Has John ordered a hot dog? Notice that the difference between an affirmative sentence and an interrogative sentence is an inversion between the pronoun and the verb have. If I say John has, it means affirmative. If I say has John, it means interrogative. That's why we've got a question form at the end of the sentence. They have visited Rome. It's an affirmative sentence of something that they did in the past, but we don't know when. I'm simply saying that they had an experience in their lives. They have visited Rome. But the question is, have they visited Rome? Not only the writing is different, but also the pronunciation, the intonation when you make a question, right? You have to ask the question with a question or interrogative expression. Have they visited Rome? Right? To give the sense of question in the sentence. And here lies the complete form of the present perfect tense, explained grammatically. First of all, auxiliary verb, have, as you see, subject, I, you, he, she, it, you, we, and they, and the past participle. In this case, we use the verb work as an example, and plus the question mark. Have I worked? Have you worked? Has she worked? Has he worked? Has it worked? Have you worked? For the plural form. Have we worked? Have they worked? Right? As simple as that, we make the interrogative sentence. Right. Now let's practice some English. Take a look at these sentences. We have the infinitive form of the verb order, so to order. So if I say, Rick has ordered a hamburger, I'm saying that Rick had an hamburger, and we simply use the form of the verb has. The verb have has plus the participle of the verb order, ordered. Order is a irregular verb, so we simply put ed at the end of the sentence. Rick has ordered. Blair went to LA in January. Here in this sentence it's past simple, not present perfect. Why? Because we have a specific past time. In January, different from present perfect. The past time is not mentioned. And the past form of the verb go, went. Chuck and Selena have seen their new teacher. Present perfect tense. Form of the verb have plus participle of the verb see. Miley has visited her grandmother. The verb to visit becomes visited, right? Ed at the end. This is also present perfect, has visited. Pat walked the dog on Monday. Past simple. Eric has eaten an Outback. Present perfect. John and Josh have made cookies for dessert. Present perfect. Alex has been at some great museums in France. Present perfect. Alright, so that's all for today. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you have enjoyed the video. If you want, you can rewind the video and watch from the scratch again to have a wider understanding about how to use the present perfect tense in English, okay? Thanks for now. See you next tip. Bye. Take care.